There's nothing fair about this.
When Sarah Sims' 9-year-old daughter told her she was being bullied at school, Sims tried to get her help. She called and emailed the administrators at Ocean View Elementary School in Norfolk, Virginia. No one answered, but she kept trying.
If I'm not getting an answer from you, then what am I left to do?
Determined to get proof that the bullying was happening, Sims took matters into her own hands. She sent her daughter to school with a digital audio recorder in her backpack. In the classroom, it was recording the school day. School officials found out about it, confiscated the device, and called police who questioned the 9-year-old.
I was mortified.
Sims says the school never called her. 1 month later, the Virginia mother learned she was in trouble with the law.
The next thing I know, I'm a felon. I've got felony charges and a misdemeanor when I'm trying to look out for my kid. What do you do?
Sims now has a rap sheet complete with a mugshot, charged with intercepting any wire, electronic, or oral communication, which is a felony, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor, a misdemeanor. Sims could spend 5 years in prison.
This is ridiculous. They're reaching. And my thing is why? Why are you working so hard to vilify me instead of addressing the issue, why this even exists? The most important part is what's going on in the classroom.
It's been months, but Sims says school officials have yet to return her calls and emails. Meantime, her daughter still attends Ocean View Elementary in a different class. CNN reached out to the school district and also the Norfolk Police Department, which would not comment beyond confirming the charges.
I hope y'all was able to hear that recording. With the my volume was up. It's just that the video was low on the website. But shout out to Gene 1972 for asking me to talk about this particular story. And the thing is, I actually heard about this kind of in passing. This should have gotten a little bit more media attention than it should have, but because it's a black parent, black child, you know how that goes. And this happened in Virginia, so. But this is really messed up. Here you have a mother, and I looked through the article a little bit, and it said that she is actually a student at a school in Virginia. The mother is at a college. So she's trying to pursue and finish her education as well, you know, with her daughter and whatnot. But this is a messed up situation. All she was trying to do was prove that her daughter was being bullied. Now, if the school was doing what they were supposed to do, which I'm clearly assuming they did not do what they were supposed to do, which was look out for her daughter, then she would not have to have slipped a recording device into her daughter's backpack to get proof that her daughter was being bullied. Now, it's funny that they approached her daughter about this recording device, but they never thought to approach her daughter when her daughter probably clearly reached out to the teachers or administrators that she was being bullied, or the daughter may have been scared to quote unquote snitch on the kids that were bullying her. That mother probably reached out to that school many, many times and no one ever replied or did anything. So basically the school should be the one that's also in trouble because they were enabling. Nothing should be happening to this mother. They said now she has a rap sheet and a record. And she could face, what did they say, 5 years in prison for protecting her daughter. I remember I did a story on my old channel where I was talking about this woman in New York who was homeschooling her children, another black mother, homeschooling her children. She filled out all the paperwork, or so she thought. And they ended up finding quote unquote loopholes in her documents. And I think they set her up that way. And then basically they were trying to say that, oh, she was kidnapping her own kids. She was hindering their education. And then they came in and arrested her, took her to jail. And then they tried to put her kids into the foster care system. Like, it was one big fucked up story. Like, if you get a chance to go research that, please be sure to do that. Like, that was a really messed up story right there. Like, this woman was just trying to give her kids the proper education she felt they deserved. And they still railroaded her and found a way to get her a record, arrest her, and try to take her kids away from her. I wanted to mention that part in there because I know people in the comment section were going to come with, well, this is exactly why we need to homeschool our kids. Well, that story right there shows you right there that even when you try to homeschool your kids, that damn system will still try to find a way to take your kids away from you and pull up a whole bunch of bullshit. Notice they won't try that with white parents. The first time I've ever heard of homeschooling, believe it or not, was through white people. Because I never knew black kids to be homeschooled, so I always thought it was taboo that black kids were homeschooled until much later on in my life, more so in adulthood. First time I learned about it, I was still in high school. So, and I always used to think kids that were probably homeschooled were probably not normal, or they didn't have a social life. I always wanted to know why they did homeschooling and things of that nature. But then as I got older, and now that I understand how, especially with how this education system is so flawed, I can understand why people decide to go the homeschool route. And then amongst other things too, such as what this mother's going through right now. And it says that her daughter is still a student at that school. And I can understand why she didn't pull her out, because she already has this shit to deal with. So they know if they pull her out, if her mother pulls her out of that school, then they're going to try to accuse her of doing something else. So it's almost like they're charging her with being a good mother, or for being a good mother. Now, I bet if she was one of them uninvolved parents that didn't give a damn about her daughter in her school and the learning process and only came down for certain occasions, then they probably wouldn't have said nothing. But here you have a mother, and I think she knew she took a risk, but she didn't expect for it to go this far. No one ever does. They were going to go after the daughter for having a recording device in there until they found out it was the mother that put it in there, in her backpack. So it makes you wonder what they would have done to the daughter. If, like, say it was the daughter's idea to do it, would they have kicked her out of the school? Probably. I'm telling you, this so-called educational system and this school system is really no place for black kids. Not only are they getting the improper education, but their environment that they're around is very toxic, as you can see. And it now is trickling over to the home. We always say that a lot of parents need to take action when it comes to their kids in these schools. Then you have parents that do, and then they still find a way to fuck it up. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Caucasian. Because when you think of these school boards and these superintendents and who's really over it, it's white people. You might have some black faces in there, but they really not running shit. But I hope everything works out for the best for this mother, and as well as her daughter, because she's getting railroaded, and that's some bullshit. That's fucked up. All she was trying to do was prove that her daughter was being bullied, because the daughter clearly told her that she was being bullied, but no one in the damn school was trying to help her or do anything. But notice they're not going after them. They're going straight after the mother, so they could clear themselves. And then they'll probably sit there and lie, oh, we didn't know, so-and-so never came and told us about her being bullied. So is that word, it's her word against ours. And guess whose word they're going to take? Theirs. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links to this article, as well as my email, Patreon, and PayPal will be in the description. Have your notifications turned on.